And that's why we've gone ahead and aggressively said that we will only charge basis your salary and will only take a percentage of that salary so that the ROI is always assured.
So that's a very inspiring road, and also for an MBA student like me, this is more or less like a dream pathway to walk on.
I wouldn't say dream pathway because it has like traversed its trajectories differently, but yeah.
But just for the sake of creating real value. So yes, students do exist who want to travel that path just the way you do.
Top private universities, name any that come up in your mind. The fee that they give to these faculty members, visiting faculty members, versus what we give is 5x. Okay.
So, sir, for the audience, can we start with a quick introduction of what Crucible is, and then we'll come to your profile?
Sure. Okay. I think Crucible, very simply, is a new format modern business school, right? And it is built for a specific kind of student cohort, which largely is basically saying that students who want to start their career in the most meaningful way, but unfortunately, fortunately, whatever, are not in the top 10 percentile of CAT givers, right? We're basically saying that if you can crack that top 90% plus percentile in CAT and get into those top 60, 70 colleges, it's a great story because those are great colleges. But beyond that, the quality is really questionable in terms of quality of teaching, quality of placements, relevancy of curriculum, etc., and real skill building. And hence we're saying that somebody who is not in top 90 percentile plus doesn't necessarily mean that they are not good enough, and also stand an equal chance of getting a good start to their career if given the right guidance, which colleges beyond the top 70 don't, right? So what's the alternate to that gap is what we are providing as Crucible. And we're simply saying that you don't have to be just a score on a mark sheet. We judge your potential instead of your percentile. And if you have got that capability of putting in the right amount of effort and doing well for the future, we don't care what you've done in the past. We're ready to put in the same amount of effort with you. And these 2 years, if you can transform yourself, we're there to guide you in that transformational journey. And we're saying that today's modern businesses don't necessarily need a perfect quant score or a perfect verbal score. They require a lot of different kinds of skills that can be built over 2 years if the student and the college is ready to put in the right effort.
And when we talk about Crucible, there's also a lot of talk involved about the fee structure that you're offering. That's the talk of the town primarily, if I have to say. So please double click on that. What exactly is the fee structure?
Yeah, so I mean, we're simply saying, and I'll go back a bit and explain why we are also doing that. But the simple fee structure is that we're saying that you pay as per the salary that you get. Your fee is basically linked to the salary. It's not a fixed amount. It is a variable amount, and it is capped at 75% of your salary. So you earn more, you pay us more. If you don't earn as much and below expectations, you also pay lesser, so that the burden on the student is also proportionate to the salary that they're able to earn, right? And while that is the one-liner to it, I'll also explain the philosophy why we're doing that. Basically, we're saying that, I mean, education ultimately is a business, right? And the customer of this business is the student on one end and the industry on the other end, right? The current MBA colleges are not providing the right service quality to either the student or the industry. To the student, there is no objective benchmark of how do you measure quality of learning. The only objective benchmark is placement outcomes, but those are also not reported properly. They're not 100% reported, inflated numbers, etc. And even if they get reported, there is no objective linkage of the fee towards that placement outcome. I mean, same kind of colleges providing similar kinds of placements, you see such a wide spectrum of fees that they charge, right? So there has to be some ownership of the outcome that the colleges are delivering, because that's their core business. And the best way to measure that ownership of outcomes is saying that, very simply, if you're able to get a student placed for higher salary, you are allowed to charge more. But if you can't, there is no reason why you should be charging more, because anyways, on the quality of learning, you're not doing something great because your curriculum is outdated. The people who are teaching don't understand modern businesses, right? So there's no objective measurement on the input side of things, which is the quality of learning. So at least on the output, you need to become objective. And what is the risk that the college is taking? All risk is with the student. The colleges also need to take equal amount of risk, because this does not work for the student otherwise, right? And that is why we are saying that if we are confident of the quality of learning that we're delivering, if we are confident of the industry exposure that we're building for the students, if we are confident of the relevancy of the curriculum because we've built it with the businesses, we should also be able to own those outcomes. And to prove it to the students, we're saying that, hey, we earn as much as you earn. Our success or our failure is linked to your success and your failure. And that's why we've gone ahead and aggressively said that we will only charge basis your salary and will only take a percentage of that salary so that the ROI is always assured, right? See, for example, what happens is students are saying, okay, I may get a salary of 8 lakhs, 10 lakhs, 12 lakhs. That's okay. But don't charge me 20 lakhs, 25 lakhs as fee for that, right? Because otherwise I'm getting out of the college with a lot of big burden of loan on me, right? And we're simply saying that whatever your salary is as a starting point, you should not carry the burden of the loan against that, right? And
Mm.
hence we are assuring an ROI by limiting the fees at 75%. So that's the big bet. And because we've so confidently built the learning in the background and the industry network in the background, we're confident of delivering this and owning that risk.